Hi, everyone. How you doing? My name is Emma, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at BVNK. And I'm really excited to be here in Cape Town with all of you. And I'm even more excited to be sharing with you our vision for where we think the future of stablecoins and payments is heading next. We believe that stablecoins have introduced a new layer for global financial services, and that soon, stablecoins will start to move beyond payments and start to feel a lot more like everyday money. But before we dive into the juicy details on that, I want to take a moment to reflect on the incredible year that we just left behind. 2025 was really a breakout year for our entire industry. It was a tipping point. What we saw was stablecoins move out of the experimentation phase and start to become a core payment rail used to move trillions of dollars in value every year for businesses and consumers all around the world. And when you look at the market data, it really backs up this narrative, which is always nice. Stablecoin payment volumes grew by 95% in 2025 to 11 trillion. And when you compare that to the payment volumes of Visa and MasterCard, which are two of the world's biggest payment networks, you can see that stablecoins are starting to catch up incredibly quickly. And we think this is really signaling a big shift in a change in the way that value moves across the global economy. When we look at stablecoin market cap, it blew past 300 billion in supply in 2025. And this officially makes stablecoins the largest new financial network that has been built in the past century. And looking at consumer adoption, today 8% of the global population hold crypto or stablecoins. And I think what this shows is that we're really only just starting to scratch the surface here. And as stablecoins continue to proliferate across financial services, this opportunity becomes exponentially bigger and much more exciting. So it was also a pretty exciting and epic year for BVNK. We're currently processing over 30 billion in annualized payment volume for some of the biggest brands in the world. So we work with Visa and WorldPay and Deal, and all of them are building and launching really exciting new financial products on top of our stablecoin rails. So at BVNK, we like to say that stablecoins are the new economic primitives of Fintech 2.0. And what we really mean by that is that stablecoins are the new building blocks of finance. And at BVNK, we believe that the foundational building blocks for our industry are send, receive, convert, store, earn, and spend. And we call this the stablecoin-powered financial stack. So our most popular use case in 2025 by far was send, so that's stablecoin payouts. Payout volume at BVNK grew by 500% in 2025, and we made over 1 million payouts across 180 different countries. And our sales pipeline just for this use case grew by 400%. So I'm pretty sure that's enough data points for now. But let me talk you through some real examples of what we're actually building with these customers. So the first example that I want to talk about is Visa Direct. So Visa Direct is already a $1.7 trillion payments network, but their customers, which are marketplaces and fintechs and neobanks, they want 24/7, always-on, cost-effective payouts. So Visa Direct and BVNK teamed up to launch stablecoin payouts. And crucially for the customer of Visa Direct, the process actually doesn't look that different. So they fund the payout in fiat. BVNK behind the scenes converts it into stablecoin. And then we disperse that payout to the recipient. And this is all happening in a matter of seconds. And now you have the world's biggest payment network running on the world's most efficient payments rail. Another really interesting example I want to share is Remitly. So they are a giant in the cross-border payment space, focused on peer-to-peer remittance, and they really wanted to create a much easier way for their global customer base to hold US dollar value and to send that all around the world. And they wanted to use stablecoins behind the scenes to do this. So they partnered with BVNK to launch a stablecoin wallet. And this is what it looks like for their users. So they can log into the Remitly platform. They can choose to open a US dollar stablecoin wallet, backed one-to-one with stablecoins. And they can use this wallet to hold funds and send and receive payments. And when they go to make a payment, they're seeing everything in USD, but BVNK is working behind the scenes, and we would debit that balance from their account and facilitate that payment for them. So hopefully now we can all agree that payments is booming, and stablecoins is a really great tool for that. I think we have 2 examples here with Visa and Remitly. They are both launching really innovative products that drastically improve the customer experience on top of stablecoins. And they haven't had to build the digital asset infrastructure themselves. That's all powered by BVNK. So yeah, getting paid with stablecoins is pretty easy. But if you're a user and you want to use your stablecoins like you do your everyday money, that's still a pretty painful process. And this is something we've been working to solve at BVNK. So I'm going to invite Paddy on stage to tell you about that.
Thanks, Emma. I'm Paddy, product manager at BVNK. So we've heard that it's easier than ever to receive stablecoins. But to actually use that money to pay a bill or to pay your rent is still pretty hard. For the most part, it means sending money off platform, waiting for fiat settlement, paying fees on every leg of the journey. And don't get me started on trying to earn interest on your balances, tying your funds up with more providers, sending money to smart contracts that are still just a little bit too smart for most of us. What we see in the data is clear. People want to use stablecoins like everyday money. We know this because we surveyed just shy of 5,000 digital asset users globally across 15 countries, and the findings were clear. They show the scale of demand and the unrealized opportunity. We found that 77% of users would open a stablecoin wallet with their bank or fintech app of choice if they offered one, showing the opportunity for trusted institutions. We found that 71% would use a stablecoin debit card to spend if they had access to one. Fully half of users want to pay for subscriptions. It's not just for one-off payments or tied-up speculative savings. And 2/5 of users would like to use stablecoins for major or lifestyle purchases, like cars and real estate. Putting this all together, the picture is clear. Demand is real, but there's a usability gap. And that's a missed opportunity. What this means, and I think we heard this in the panels earlier, is that issuing wallets alone is no longer enough. Users want more features and more capability of what they can do with their money. If users can't spend, value leaves. They'll move their money off platform to where they can spend the money the way they want to elsewhere. And if idle funds don't earn, users will look elsewhere. Nobody's leaving money on the table anymore. All of this together means that we consistently see platforms, big tech companies, marketplaces, and fintechs hitting 2 hard ceilings. The first is the leaky bucket problem. If all you offer is a wallet, your users will cash out. Value will leave your ecosystem, denying you new opportunities for revenue streams, user engagement, and retention. The second is the go-to-market problem. It's pretty hard to do all of this. If you want to issue a wallet to your users with native spend and earn capabilities, you need to stitch together multiple providers, deal with licenses, handle custody, not to mention building the front end. Your stablecoin proof of concept just became a 12-month roadmap nightmare. So, what are we doing about this? We've built the shortcut. Introducing the BVNK Global Wallet, our new product, launching now. With one unified stack and one consistent API experience across both custodial and self-custody wallets, you can easily power a global user base in accessing stablecoins to spend, store, and earn their value. Let's take a closer look at storing value. With a single API call, you can let users issue stablecoin wallets directly from within your ecosystem. You can choose from between self-custodial and custodial wallets without compromising end-user or developer experience. Now, this is crucial. This enables truly global wallet issuance. Global enterprises need global wallet coverage to match your footprint. With our self-custody wallets, you can achieve this global coverage faster without compromising user experience, compliance and KYC, or security. Once users are up and running, they get immediate access to store, send, and receive stablecoins and other digital assets on-chain, all without leaving your platform. Crucially, we've also solved the spend problem. Let's see how that works. Your customers get access to a stablecoin-backed Visa card to spend their stablecoin balances online or in person anywhere Visa is accepted. Imagine a freelancer in Mexico who gets paid in stables. The moment their funds land on chain, they can tap to pay anywhere that Visa is accepted. No waiting for off-ramps, settlement delays, no extra fees. Their stablecoin wallet just became a real financial account. And finally, we close the loop with Earn. We enable users to earn rewards on all stablecoin balances fully automatically. No need to tie up funds in smart contracts. No need for you or your users to take any action. By enabling users to earn rewards on their idle balances automatically, you can turn a one-time payout into a retained revenue stream, and you just earned a happy customer. With these combined flows, the BVNK Global Wallet closes the stablecoin payout loop. For end users, this turns stablecoins into everyday money. It's the first step to turning them invisible. For enterprises, this turns one-off payouts into globally available store, spend, and earn experiences that drive retention and revenue and create a compounding flywheel. So what does this mean for your business? First, recognize that money stuck is an unrealized opportunity. Every time users need to cash out to spend or to earn their stablecoins, value is leaking out of your ecosystem. Closing that loop turns a stablecoin payout cost center into a retained revenue engine. Second, global wallet coverage is TAM growth in the stablecoin market. When you can instantly offer an online digital dollar account to users in Argentina, Nigeria, Vietnam, and really anywhere, essentially, you're making sure that your addressable market matches your global ambitions. And in the regulatory environment that we see fast approaching, enterprises' stacks will need to comprise both custodial and self-custody wallets to address that market. Finally, your vision equals our infrastructure. Using BVNK's backend, enterprises can re-platform their existing fiat-based flows onto stablecoin rails, making them always online, digitally available, making the existing flows faster, cheaper, and better for end users. Or build entirely new flows. Create the financial ecosystem of the future, anything you can imagine, on top of the world's fastest and most efficient payment rail. We handle the complexity, you focus on building the new products that will define your category. Thank you.